All right, let's talk navigation. As a front-end lead, I can tell you robust navigation is pretty much the backbone of any great web application. So today we're going to build a really solid foundation for navigation in React, and we'll be using React Router to do it.
So here's the game plan. We're going to start with the why. Why modern web nav works the way it does. And then we'll jump right into the code, building out the routing for a simple e-commerce store and covering all the essential concepts you're going to need.
Okay, let's dive right in. Before we even think about writing a line of code, it's so important to understand the core problem that React Router just so elegantly solves. I mean, you've definitely noticed this, right? The best web apps, they just feel fast. You're clicking between pages, and it's instant. There's none of that jarring white screen page refresh. Well, that seamless experience isn't an accident. It's the result of an architecture we call a single-page application, or an SPA. And this slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. With a traditional website, every single click means a whole new request to the server, a whole new page load. But with an SPA, the app loads just once. That's it. From then on, React Router intercepts your clicks and just dynamically swaps out the components right there in your browser. It feels like a fluid desktop app, and that's exactly what we're going for.
All right, theory is great, but let's actually see how this works. We're going to get our hands dirty now and start laying the foundation of our little e-commerce store by mapping URLs to our main pages.
At its heart, a route is basically just a signpost. It's a simple rule that tells React Router, hey, when the user is at this URL, I want you to render this specific component. It's a really simple but powerful idea that forms the very core of our navigation.
Now, check out this code. What's really cool here is how declarative it is. We're not writing a bunch of if this then that logic. We are simply telling the router what we want. The root path, / should show the home page, and / products should show the product list page. As a lead, I love this because it's so easy for anyone on the team to just look at this and immediately understand the app's structure.
Okay, this is absolutely crucial, so listen up. To make the magic happen, you have to stop using standard A tags for your internal links. Instead, you always use React Router's link component. A normal A tag causes a page reload, but link is smart. It intercepts that click and tells the router to handle the URL change internally, which is exactly how we avoid that dreaded refresh.
So we've got our main pages working. Great. But our store has thousands of unique products. We obviously can't write a separate route for every single one. That would be insane. This is the perfect job for dynamic routing.
So, what's the trick? It's this thing called a dynamic segment. And it all comes down to that little colon. The colon is the key. It transforms a static path into a flexible pattern. Now, /products : product ID can match /products 123 or /products cool blue shirt, anything.
And with this one line, we've set up the rule for every single product page. But this brings up a good question, right? How does our product detail page component know which product ID to actually fetch and display from that URL?
And the answer is this amazing hook called useParams. The useParams hook is the bridge. It reads the current URL, it finds that dynamic bit that matches /product ID, and it just makes that value available to our component. It's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful for building out data-driven pages.
All right, let's talk about a critical real-world requirement: protected routes. Pages like My Account or Order History that should only be accessible if a user is logged in.
So we're not going to code the whole thing, because it's the pattern here that really matters. A protected route is basically a component you build yourself that acts like a gatekeeper. It just asks one simple question: is the user logged in? If the answer is yes, great. It renders the page you're trying to protect. If the answer is no, it uses that navigate component to redirect them somewhere else, like the login screen.
And that's really the key takeaway here. Just understand this conditional rendering logic. Once you get that, you're just wrapping a route in a component that checks a condition. You can easily adapt this pattern to fit whatever authentication system your app is using.
Okay, wow, we moved fast and we covered the absolute essentials of React Router. So let's just put it all together in one final recap to make sure it all sticks.
So here it is, your core routing toolkit. Browser routing is what activates the whole system. Routes and route are your map, defining all your destinations. Link is the special vehicle that gets you there instantly without reloading the page. useParams lets you read the dynamic address from the URL like a specific product ID. And Navigate is for when you need to programmatically redirect a user. With just these few tools, you can build some seriously sophisticated and fast navigation experiences.
So really think about this. How can you use these patterns to improve the flow of your own applications? You now understand the fundamentals that power modern, engaging web experiences. You've got the keys. Now go build something great.